Yo, fellas, so you want to see how to put together what could be the most powerful character in all of Diablo 2 Resurrected? Well, that's what I'm going to show you right here today. This is the Nova Sorceress Self-Wielding Infinity. Now, first off, we're going to take a look at the stats. It's obviously the quickest one. Now, you want to wear just enough strength and dex to wear your gear. That's pretty standard for a character. Your numbers might be different in this depending on what base you have for your Infinity. I'll show you what I have, but I'll tell you what probably the optimal one is in a little bit. This is on single player, so I don't want to make 9 infinities for every single use case. So I made one particular one that I use across all the different characters that use infinity currently, or that I use it for anyways on single player. Now, unlike the standard build though, you don't put any points into vitality because with this Nova Energy Shield build, you actually max out energy. Energy is your life, and it's also the mana you use in order to cast your spells. So max out energy as much as you can get into that. Now, down on resistances, they are not generally as important. Yes, getting resistances will minimize whatever goes against your life, but your energy absorbs all of, or most of anyways, the damage that comes in. So cold, fire, and lightning aren't as particularly as important, but poison damage actually kind of bypasses the energy shield and goes directly towards your life. So you want to have a higher, hopefully capped out, or at least close to capped out, poison resistance. Mine, I got up to 57, so we're what, like 18 or 19, I guess 18% under the cap. There is some gear swaps you could put out, or just some small charms or something like that to cap it out if you'd like to. I went ahead and put it right at that. I play softcore, not hardcore, so I didn't exactly worry about it. Alrighty, we'll jump in, take a look at the skill tree, and we'll start off at fire because it's super easy. 1 point into warmth, like almost any sorceress. 1 point into frozen armor over on the cold spell skill tree, and that's all you do for those particular ones. Now, almost all the rest of the points actually are going into lighting spells. Now, first of all, Nova is the main skill you're going to use. You see that says 20 base points. We got that capped out. Now, a synergy is static field, and also that's a skill you're going to use. So you cap that out to get the most damage you can, and the radius on this is astronomical. So you're going to be hitting monsters off of your screen when you do cast static. Now, also, obviously, this is a lightning skill, so come down and max out lightning mastery. Now, also, you're going to want to come over and get energy shield. Now, you notice this is at 18 base points. It's because this is the final skill, which every individual point I get from here on out, I put in an energy shield. I'm up to 18 here. I believe I'm at level 94 or 95. I kind of forgot now. But you see it has a synergy of telekinesis. So you get minus 6% mana consumed per level. So when you go ahead and max out telekinesis, that's a ton of essentially minus damage that you're taking. Because the minus energy consumed, remember, that's your life. The damage coming in goes to your mana, and it's minusing the amount of mana consumed when hit with the energy shield. So we went ahead and capped out telekinesis, and like I said, each individual remaining point going to energy shield. The rest of the stuff here, teleport, chain lightning, lightning, and charge bolt, they're just the points you need to get down to the skills you actually need. Now we're going to head and take a look at the interesting part, the gear here, and we're going to take a look at the weapon first. It's kind of what makes this build your self-wielding infinity. And yes, this is in an ethereal man catcher. This is an amazing base for the Act 2 Mercenary to wield an infinity. And because it's single player, I didn't want to make a bazillion infinities. You know, you can only find so many burr runes. So I went ahead and just used the ethereal man catcher because the requirements are relatively low. It's only 124 and 122. If you have something crazy like a CV, it's like 210. Even a Threshers are higher, 140 like that, and Great Poleaxes are up there higher, but this one is pretty low, and it's known as one of the best, if not the best base for the Act 2 Mercenary. So I go ahead and just throw this on my Sorceress. Now, the Scythe is actually the best in slot, is what most people consider and what most people use for self-wielding infinity. I will note that, but I went ahead and did this just for the purposes of my single-player character here. Now up here we got a Griffin's Eye. We threw in a facet right there. You're pretty much going to have that down here. If you want to get to 105, you got to rock the skin of the Viper Magi. Here I got a Topaz in it. You could throw another facet in there if you want the damage. I'm a Magic Finder, so I went with Magic Find. Now right here, you want to have 10 FCR at least on this amulet, 2 to all skills, 2 to lightning skills. Obviously all skills would be better, but I haven't had great luck at crafting amulets for specifically my Sorceress, so I actually had to do this. This is the only 10 FCR 2 to skills amulet that I have that I can use on lightning. If you could get a 220 amulet, you could actually swap some gear around and get even more damage and more mana and stuff like that. But 220 amulets, I don't need to tell you folks, they're tough to come by. So now over here, There's a few different ways you could do this. I'll go over both of them right here super quick. So I got Frost Burns here for 40% increased maximum mana, which is your life. And then I have an FCR ring here with over 20 poison res and mana after kill. It does have a little energy and some other stuff too, but mainly the poison, mana after kill. Here we've got more poison and mana after kill and another 10 FCR. So that's what we need to get up to the breakpoint. If you want to get this 20 FCR a different way, you can throw Mage Fists over here and go dual SOJs. 2 SOJs can be hard to come by. It's up to you which way you want to go. Technically, I believe the 2 SOJ version with the Mage Fist is slightly better. You get a couple skills, and you'll get just ever so slightly more increased maximum mana. It's up to you, and it depends what you can get your hands on. Down the belt, to get to 105, you absolutely want to have Arachnid's Mesh. 1L skills, cast rate, increase more mana. Boom, right there. Over on the boots, I'm a magic finder. I went with War Traps. Silkweaves aren't a bad option. They give you more mana and mana after kill. And also, if you want to go Sandstorm Treks, they have a ton of poison res. So if you don't have a bunch of poison res from 2 pretty decently rolled rare rings for an energy shield sorceress anyways, you can go ahead and throw over here with those boots Sandstorm Treks, and they have like 75 or at least a high amount. I think it's maybe 55 to 75 or something along those lines of poison resistance. It will cap out your poison res most likely. Over on swap, obviously you want to go Call to Arms, and if you want to throw a Lidless over here, you get 1 to all skills. It's just 1 skill to battle order up slightly higher. I didn't feel like searching around for 7 years looking for on a mule somewhere for a Lidless or, you know, whatever. So I just got the Call to Arms over here, and I didn't want to bump up any more strength to wear a Spirit. So I just come over in battle order with Justice, but do know that you could throw a Lidless over here for 1 extra skill onto that stuff. When you jump down to the Grand Charms, obviously Lightning Scaler is the best you got. Obviously for that, I got all the ones that I've found so far. Sunday Charm, obviously the best you can get. Fortune Annie, once again, the best you can find. And because I'm a Magic Finder, obviously I'm throwing Magic Find Charms down here. Like I said, you could go Poison Res stuff down here to go ahead and get up to that. If you did throw on Sandstorm Treks, you could even stack some more faster hit recovery down here if you want to get to a breakpoint for that. That's all up to you. All right, so now we look over at the Act 2 Mercenary that we have here, and it's a little bit different than normal. This is a particular setup that I only use for specifically my Energy Shield Nova Sorceress, or really Energy Shield Sorceresses in general. So we actually have the Prayer Merc. When it's active, it slowly regenerates your life. Well, if you have this exact gear setup, it does not slowly regenerate your life. It astronomically regenerates your life. There's a little bit of a kind of, I could call it a synergy, but that's not really truly how it works. But if you actually have an insight over here with the meditation aura, and you have a cure with cleansing, those both kind of interact in a way where the prayer just goes off the charts and goes bonkers. Literally, my max life down here, this max life globe, when it ticks 6 times, it 100% completely fills my life completely up with this particular setup right here. Cleansing also will get rid of all different curses, whether it's something, even it gets rid of poison faster. If you get the blood mana curse when you're running different things, it'll get rid of that. Or just any curses that are on you will go away in just a matter of a couple of seconds with the cleansing aura up here. So this is a really great setup. On top of that, obviously, meditation aura replenishes your mana super quick. So your mana is your life, so you're replenishing your real life and then your secondary life incredibly quick with this setup. Now, it is super expensive, but if you can get yourself a Chains of Honor, throw that on the Mercenary for the gear, because this is your only form of life leech. On top of that, I guess technically it does add damage to undead and demons. Add some strength, sure. All res and damage reduction. So it has a bunch of little things on there to help out, but the main thing is getting that life leech. If your Mercenary doesn't have life leech, he's kind of going to die quite often unless you're constantly pulling him away, which you are teleporting around quite quick, but you definitely want to get life leech somewhere. Now we'll go ahead and test this out in some places, and I'm just going to go here and show you super quick. We have this on player 7 difficulty, so we'll go ahead and, I don't know, let's go ahead and hit Frigid Highlands real quick. That's a good spot to test out, and then I'll show you a test in the Chaos Sanctuary. So go ahead and use your static up, you telestomp right in the middle of pretty much anyone, and Nova them down, and yeah, this is player 7 difficulty, so not much of a problem for this Sorceress. Telestomp, flash, flash, flash. He's got lightning enchanted, so slightly slower, but yeah, easy peasy, no problem for the Nova Sorceress. Now, obviously, another good place to test out any build really in the game, right? People love around the Chaos Sanctuary, flash, flash, telestomp, then you flash your Nova, that packs down. Static them, telestomp in the middle, flash them down. And feel free, watch the life and watch the mana just behind my arm over here. Not really having much of an issue. There are times when you come across certain monsters that'll mana burn you, or they have some particular type of auras that will give you a little bit of a trouble. So it's not like you literally can't watch anything with the way this build is set up. You can build energy shield sorceresses, so they are essentially literally invincible. This one's not literally invincible, but it is incredibly survivable, and it does a crazy ton of damage. There are budget versions of this too, where you use things like the Crescent Moon, or you could just use things like the Oculus and Spirit and stuff like that. Throw on a Shaco, throw on different other pieces of gear that are incredibly budget, and those work incredibly well also. This is kind of the top highest end gear right here, just to kind of show off. And this is what I've been using live on stream recently here on YouTube, and I do stream over on Twitch as well. Links in the description to the Twitch. Just throwing that out there. Never a bad time to plug your own stuff, huh? So I'm going to go ahead and just finish up this Chaos Sanctuary to show the entire thing. If we move on from here, Infector's little group is a little bit more dangerous with the fire that comes flying out. You kind of spawn in a funny area right there, kind of a funny area, which actually made it better for me. So the one thing I will show you, this is player 7 difficulty Diablo. Not the best single target farmer, but it works perfectly fine, and you still kind of have all the survivability of the energy shield. So go ahead and static Diablo down and flash him with Nova, and you see the health going down, but not exactly charge strike Javazan or anything along those lines. But chop, 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 and down he goes. Executioner sword, not too much. There's another area we could go ahead and test this out, huh? Well, who doesn't like farming some cows, huh? You've seen how it handled the Chaos Sanctuary on player 7, and here's some player 7 cows. Let's find some good packs. Static him down. There goes a ton of health down on him. Flash, 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 and yeah, that's solo player 7 cows with absolutely no problem. Let's see if we can round up a big old herd here. Here we got a ton of cows. Static them down. I actually want to lure them closer together here. Probably stop right in the middle and flash them away. You can see the way this survivability is on here. It kind of, when you first flash them, you deal enough damage to them in one hit. You kind of put them into hit recovery a little bit there. So a lot of times they don't hit you right off the bat. Boom, telestomp right in the middle and flash them down. Like, it is just crazy how good this character really works. And yeah, I could go a little bit faster, but I'm just standing there. Let them walk to their own demise. So there is definitely different options for a lot of the gear pieces, especially different budget options. Let me know your favorite down in the comment section. If you love rocking this Sorceress too, let me hear all about that down in the comments as well. Don't forget the like button and subscribe up before you go. You never miss any of the future Diablo 2 Resurrected videos. Peace out, fellas, and keep slaying.